Well, welcome to the Prophetic Edge, and it is a wonderful time of the year, my most favorite time of the year. Definitely Pastor May's most favorite time of the year. But everybody, this is such a wonderful time of celebration and family. That whole season between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and, with family gatherings and get-togethers of every type. Let's know in the midst of all the busyness, let's not forget the reason for the season. Let's put Jesus first and foremost. I know that many of you right now are going through battles, trials, tribulations, all types of things have been going on these last few years. And some of us are in a survival mode and others are in a revival mode. But we need to press in and to press on, and we need to look up because the great help that's coming is great help from the heavenlies. We need to know that our help cometh from above. What we need to do is to bring season's greetings and joy. Not just cheer, but joy. Not just laughter, but joy, something different. We need to have that right perspective in our heart in order to get the joy of the season. We have to have the joy of the Lord in our heart, and that's our strength. Prophetically, we need to sow into that. We need to pray into that. We need to declare into that. We need to keep our attitudes and our hearts right in the midst of everything that's going on. You know what? The enemy, over the last few years, has targeted unity. He's targeted to bring division to families, to nations, to people groups, to churches, to congregations, right down the line, to separate us and to make like forces and like hearts, brothers and sisters, relatives and friends, partners. He's purposed to bring division, to steal the blessing of God in our lives. You and I, as believers, have to be mature enough to set these things aside, to receive our friends and relatives, even though they're looking at things from a different perspective than we are, even though they may not be in the same place spiritually, emotionally. This is a season that was all about unity, all about coming together and celebrating the reason for the season. Let's stay focused and not only eggnog and hoopla, although that's all wonderful, but set us purpose together in our hearts to bring the joy of the Lord, which is the true joy of the Christmas season, to bear into our homes and family gatherings, into our businesses and churches, ministries, relationships, all up and down. The casual contacts, let's bring joy when we're shopping. I know shopping is, did I say shopping? Glory to God. I struggle with shopping. I'm all done my shopping. I shop for one, she shops for the rest. But you know what, if we're going to be there, even in the lightest, most casual contacts, can we bring the joy of the Lord? It starts with a smile. Because it starts with an attitude that's established in our hearts. And I find that anytime that I find myself not in that place where I'm actually able to bring a smile and a joy, it almost always points back to my foundational walk, to my prayer life, to my time in the Word, to my gathering together with others that I'm called to walk with and be with, to stay focused on the vision and the time, the moment, the season. All the stuff, the busyness going on, tries to get me off of my my daily life challenge of being a true disciple, it comes from the word discipline. You know, you're going to be doing a lot more things over these next 3 to 4 weeks. So you're juggling 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 other things. And you were already juggling 4 or 5 or 6 other things. Something's got to give. Whatever you do, don't give up the most important thing. It's that personal walk, talk, relationship with Jesus Christ. It sets the mood and the tempo for the day. With me, that foundational walk, it usually begins with a time in the morning where I write and pray in my dreams from the night before and take a few minutes and just reflect before the Lord my heart, that I just don't jump up and start this crazy radical schedule. I don't want my life to rob me of my joy. So somehow I have to manage my life. We're all trying to do that. And if everything is locked and set in place, then I lose the spontaneous movement of the Spirit in my life. That also robs me of my joy. There are obligations and responsibilities, and I totally understand that. Obviously, if you're around me, you know that I go through that. And that's a great challenge, but I want to make sure that I don't lose the focus of what's most important. Because when my joy is affected, it's usually because the foundation has been stirred or disrupted. And holidays have a tendency to do that. Holidays, trials, tribulations, circumstances, broken relationships, and anybody you talk to. Holidays bring back memories, both good and bad. They bring emotions to the surface. Family gatherings, office gatherings, church gatherings. It's certainly a wonderful opportunity to mend fences, to build bridges, to bring healing to old relationships. But many times, in those moments, if our heart has not been properly prepared before the Lord, instead of making matters better, it makes matters worse. I have to plan even on the short term. And I have to get back to the foundational things that I do on a daily basis to maintain my walk with Christ, to try to make my attitude and my mindset come as closely in parallel as I can with the life of Christ and a true disciple of Jesus. I would then move after that time of reflection and personal prayer and going through, starting my day. I take a few minutes and do a couple of devotionals every day. I do my daily covering prayer very often. Sometimes I don't read it, because I've been doing it for so many years, and so I just go through it myself, in my own heart, my own mind, setting the standard for the day, putting on my armor, preparing myself to walk out and to walk among the vineyard God's called me to, and I'm walking in that field, and usually if I'm walking in that field, I'm going to walk in some of the fertilizer in the field and sometimes get it right there on my feet. So I got to be ready to wash my feet, and once I've washed my feet, I'm washed all over. So I usually do a morning cleanse, preparing my heart for the day, and I'll take 1 or 2 quick devotionals. I do a minute with Maxwell. I have 2 or 3 other favorites, like that I go to them and reflect on them a moment, just preparing myself for a good day. And part of that is pushing back the darkness, putting the enemy in his place, establishing my authority, putting on my armor, declaring my day. He said, well, you do that? I do that. During the day, sometimes I have to redo that because of situations and circumstances that present themselves that would like me to respond differently, actually to react more than respond. So then I got to get a grip on myself. You need to get a grip. Sometimes I'm going through this day and there's busyness and you're going from one meeting to the next, to a phone call, to a contact, from a good to a bad. All your emotions are going up and down. Sometimes I just need to take a pause. I just need to pause for a minute. Reflect on him and his goodness. Maybe I'm in the midst of a conversation that goes sour and turns negative. Someone comes in and dumps their bucket all over me. They couldn't help themselves. They were hurt and broken and needed a place to get rid of it. I just happened to be handy. Then I need to pause. Redo myself so they don't bring it into the next contact, the next appointment, the next meeting. So I pause a minute. Gather myself, gather my thoughts. Quiet my emotions and feelings. Because we're going from relationship to relationship. Sometimes each of those relationships are very different. I want to respond Christ-like as much as possible. I want you to know, I'm not saying that I got it down pat. I don't. That's why I have to work on it. And it takes work. If I want to display Christ in me, if I want to be that spontaneous, prophetic encourager that he's called me to be, then I have to constantly pause and check myself, even in the midst of the day, calm myself and cleanse myself, prepare myself for the next moment. It's consciously being sure of the feelings and emotions that I'm going through, being aware of them, and being aware of my weaknesses as well as my strengths. So that I respond properly. And John Kelly has said something to me many, many times, that his biggest defeats have come when he wanted to, that he acted like a general when he should have reacted like a father, or reacted like a father when he should have reacted like a general. And I found in my life that happens when I'm not continually paying attention and I'm allowing one relationship to go to the next. So I have to continually live this life of discipleship, continuing to cleanse myself of the experiences so that I step into this new encounter, this new meeting, this new moment, not dragging those old emotions. Because I do that, and so do you and everybody else, unless we're really conscious of it. We're not able to compartmentalize perfectly because none of us is perfect. And I don't get into very many perfect situations. And if I do happen to step into a perfect setting, the moment I step in, I bring in perfection of who I am. But excellence I can bring. I can step into this moment the best I can be. That requires sometimes a pause, sometimes a cleanse, sometimes a little meeting with myself. Sometimes I got to get a grip on an emotion that's trying to act up. Sometimes I'm working on old feelings and emotions that have been hurt in the past. So I'm working with a damaged vessel called me. But you know what? God chooses to use broken vessels. None of us perfect. But excellence is achievable. And he's given us everything we need. Excellence is the best that I can be, period. In every setting, in every relationship, in every moment. I want to be planned and orderly and disciplined the best that I can without losing the spontaneous movement of the spirit of the moment, of the relationship, of the contact. Keep freshly in tune with what the Spirit is speaking to me in this new relationship that I come into. And is it God? Is it me? Is it my own feelings? Can I get rid of my own feelings so I can hear God for this person in this moment, so that I can be prophetic when I walk into the Christmas party, so I can be spontaneous when I go to lunch and prophetic when I go to lunch? How can I do that if I'm continuing to allow myself to be clogged with my own personal feelings and emotions? I have to deal with this guy first. And I'm saying this in this particular moment in time because I want you to bring the gift of encouragement and a spirit of joy and hope and healing into your family, into your home, into your work during Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah. This is a busy time. Demands are everywhere. Demands put upon you and demands we put upon ourselves. Obligations and responsibilities that I've made covenant with to do, because he wants my yea to be yea, my nay to be nay. I have to fulfill my obligations and responsibilities. But I want to fulfill them in the right spirit, in the spirit of the season, in the spirit of the moment, in the spirit of God. I want to be spirit-led, spirit-driven. I want to be led by the Spirit. I want to lead by the Spirit. We're capable because we've been given every tool and every weapon we need. We are destined for success. We are set up for success. Each of us and the Spirit of God can do all things. But I have to continue to yield to the Spirit in my daily walk in every moment of that day. The good and the bad and the ugly, the indifferent. You can't avoid any of them unless you want to be a hermit. And there's a lot of people trying to do that, but you know what? It just don't work. It just doesn't work. We're called to people. We need people. We need each other. I just want you to know in this moment in season, I want you to continue to take the time to pause throughout your day, to start your day properly. Don't forget the foundations and the basics. Don't forget to smile, to bring love, to bring hope, to be a voice of hope, because people need hope right now. And there's dope pushers. I want to be a hope pusher. I want to push hope. I want to bring hope. In order to do that, I have to let hope abound in me. I have to let joy abound in me. I have to let faith abound in me. So I have to fight off all the obstacles that are opposing me here, that are opposing me here, that are opposing me in my natural life and walk in the busyness of the moment, in the circumstance. The world seems at times to be at war with me, and rightfully so. The same as it opposed Christ, it's going to oppose you and I. And the kingdoms of this world are going to become the kingdoms of our God, so I have hope inside of me. I got a win-win-win situation. I can see life in death because he conquered death. in this moment, sometimes I'll say, I'm so excited about this moment in time. And people think, why would he say such a thing? How could he be? Because I need to see things through his eyes and know that he is working hard on my behalf. But he needs me to cooperate with him as I'm going through this daily walk as a prophetic voice. If we're going to talk about living on the prophetic edge, then we have to continually prepare ourselves over and over and over and over again. Continue to check ourselves, inspect ourselves, deal with ourselves, get a grip on ourselves. Hello? Because self left ungripped, undisciplined. I'm sure you've had enough encounters with your own flesh to know that we're our own worst enemy at times. So let me get a grip, not just on life, but let me get a grip on me. Let me get a grip on the flesh. Let me get a little grip on the old man and begin to manifest the new man. Let me make the most of this season. Let me remember that my primary ministry is the ministry of Christ, which is a ministry of reconciliation. And it has to be in every area and facet of my life, or it'll carry over into every facet of my life. I have to deal with me first thing in the morning and then all day long. And I have to do the things that are necessary to be a true disciple of Christ. I want you to know I love you, but you know what? The fruit of the Spirit's way more important than the gifts of the Spirit. The gospel they're going to read is not the gospel you preach, but the one that you reveal in relationship to them. Everybody gets hurt. It's who's willing to do the work of personal restoration and healing, to pursue healing, to pursue a healthy personality and healthy relationships and balanced relationships and a balanced life. They're the people that are going to have longevity and lifetime relationships and fruitfulness. And he said, know a tree by the fruit it bears. I want to bear the fruit of the Spirit for the world to see and know that my God is real and I'm his son and he's my God. My prayer for you today is that you would continue to yield and that you would be a vessel of honor, carrying joy and hope and strength to every relationship, to every moment. That in the midst of the turmoil of the moment, you will be a vessel of peace, a torchbearer of love, a bright spot in someone's day, that you'll have patience and practice patience with those that are trying you, with those that don't measure up to our expectation, that you'll manifest Christ in those difficult relationships and be a vessel of reconciliation and restoration. And Father, I ask that for divine appointments, destiny encounters for each one of us. And Father, that the power of your Spirit, you'd put words in our mouth and that you would let agape love and peace and joy and hope and strength and courage and faith, let it manifest. Let all the fruit and the power of the Spirit, but mostly love, let it manifest in us, in me, in this season, so that we can celebrate and bring the reason for the season to so many others. It's in Jesus' name I pray. God bless you. Have a great week, awesome holiday. I'll be seeing you some more. I really enjoy these Wednesdays and the Prophetic Edge. God bless you now. Have a great day.